Hi y'all, welcome
Hi.
back to another Wasted
Wasted
Wednesdays. I am once again Chip.
I am still Stevie. Oh my goodness. We're starting off great.
Is this even recording? Oh yeah, it is. Okay.
Well,
Oh, okay.
do you want to try that again or just go for it?
No, we're going with it.
Okay,
We're
going for it.
rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Well,
this is it.
we just had a shot,
Thanks
so...
for let's get started. This is episode 2 week.
Oh my
Already
god.
fucking up.
Mm-hmm.
Already slipping.
We're tired.
Oh my god. Yeah, well, I feel like a lot has happened in the past 24 hours. I mean, a motherfucking tornado rolled her ass through.
Well, also, like, we haven't seen each other in, like, 2 days?
That's true.
Well, 2.5 days.
Yeah, because I kind of just, like, you went to work.
Yeah.
And I went to my mom's.
Yeah.
Then we celebrated Easter, and
Yeah.
you spent the night last night.
Yeah.
And honestly, we just saw each other, like, an hour ago.
Yeah. So, live reactions of missing each other.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't even caught... Oh, sorry, something's in my throat. I had work today, so I, like, shoved a granola down. No, actually, it was very hard to eat. It was not as quick as I was
Attempted to, but
yeah.
the granola won that battle.
It did. So, also won the battle in my throat. It really just almost took me out there. Yeah. Also, hopefully this time I don't have to get up so much to press record again. I Googled why that kept happening, like why my cameras kept stopping, and apparently I just don't have an SD card strong enough
Shit.
to film it in high def, so sorry if this quality is not up to par as the last one, but I'm trying to prevent me getting up to keep recording, so we'll see. Clearly I need to buy a new one.
It's all with the process. We're,
Yeah.
what's it called?
Amateurs.
Yes. Amateurs. Brain cell gone. So yeah, haven't seen each other in about a day.
Yes.
How's it going?
Well, from the brief moment when I stepped out of the shower to tell you.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we're both on our periods, so...
That's why if we both look miserable right now, it's because Mother Nature is winning this battle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's winning.
Yeah. And I mean, is it even my period? I don't know. It's... My hormones are all jacked. It's like I basically have a period the whole month. I don't know.
Ugh. I keep getting emails from my OBGYN saying that it's time to, like, schedule a checkup, but I'm like, y'all not know what's going on right now?
That
like,
must be, like, automated
I'm sure it is, but
yeah.
I just keep getting them, and I'm like, okay, I know I need to, but, like,
okay,
not right now. We're in quarantine.
No.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I feel that. And I was just telling you, too, I feel like it's hard not to, because this happened to me multiple times in quarantine. I said I wasn't going to do this, but just going down memory lane, like, you go through all your old photos and stuff, and I was trying to clear space to fucking edit the first episode, because Final Cut won't let me. I know I'm using Final Cut. Y'all shut up, you little Premiere bitches.
Yeah, shut up.
At least it's not iMovie. At least my ass isn't putting it together.
Be like,
I'm like, brought to you by iMovie.
Right?
Anyways, that shot is hitting.
It's making me go. My brain was already just said goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on.
And we mixed the shot with
5-hour energy. So.
Like idiots. I definitely have
idiots or geniuses.
Well, I haven't had a lot of water today
Neither
or anything to eat.
I had
a biscuit.
Bought a biscuit. I had a hot dog before I came over. And then I did have some water. So
I had a little water.
To mix it up.
To go with the hot dog. Compliment it.
And then I had some burnt fries that they weren't supposed to be burnt, but
like, what would I give to have some fries? Even burnt fries right now.
They did hit. They were the curly fries. Yeah,
they're okay if they're burnt. That is all right.
I don't know if you would classify them as burnt. They were crispy. They're let's just say a little extra crispy.
Oh, you heard that burp? Anyways, yeah, we'll get a little crisp.
Little.
Oh.
trying to talk about?
I don't...
Nostalgia.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyways.
What a bitch.
What a bitch. Actually, truly. No, but, okay. Deep moment real quick. I said I wasn't... I said I wasn't going to do it, but here I am. No, but I was going through... I was like, okay, maybe... Because then I'm trying to put some stuff on my hard drive to make room on my desktop. And I was like, okay, maybe I have too much on my hard drive, and that's why it's taking so long, or I don't know. And so I was trying to, like, go through photos and delete it, and I was like, what do I have on here? And then I just found a lot of old, like, videos and pictures, and I think the other day I had a thought. I was like, man, did I waste my youth? You know, like,
that's a question.
Right?
Did I waste my youth?
But
what classify, when are you officially out of youth? Are we out of youth?
I feel like once you get hit, you're like, oh, this is the real world. Like, you feel like what everybody's saying about the real world is fake. Yeah. And then you get hit with it, and you're like, oh, they weren't lying. Yeah. And, like, that transition from, like, senior to, like, freshman in college, like, nobody tells you and talks to you about that. Yeah. And so I feel like that transition, it's like a fucking secret that everybody kept from you. Yeah. Until you experience it. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, wow, and y'all felt that too? And everybody's like, yeah, and you're like, and nobody wanted to talk about it? Yeah. But, I feel like that's kind of the moment. Yeah. I mean, like, we're still in our youth, like, for sure.
No,
like,
definitely, yeah.
I feel like once you're 40...
But it's, like, it's a different part, though, because, like, I guess when you think back to, like, the high school adventures and whatnot, like, that's a whole chapter within itself, and then once you're, like, in college or graduated high school, whatever you choose to do, that's, like, then that's a whole other chapter. Like, it's just two separate things. So, I guess, like, thinking back to, like, high school, you're like, did I waste my, like, high school youth?
And that's what I was just kind of thinking about, you know?
Sometimes I feel like I did.
Exactly, same. I think about that, too. I'm like, did I really? Because, like, I mean, my mom put the fear of God into me, so, like, I wasn't trying too much. Yeah. I mean, not that there was a lot to do, really, or, like, a lot to try. I mean, I was like, I'm not trying to get in trouble, but now I'm, like, an adult.
And now I can get prison. In, like, big girl trouble.
Big girl trouble, like, jail
I'm not
time.
trying to do that.
Right? So, like, and then now your brain's developed and shit versus
and now
high school.
Yeah, now you can actually think about the consequences, like, before you do something.
Exactly.
Instead of, like, halfway through something and you're like, oh, shit, there's consequences to this.
Exactly. So that's what I was kind of thinking about. I was like, man, did I? But then, I guess, like, light at the end of the tunnel or whatever, I was going through those photos, and I think what I miss... I don't really miss the people. Yeah. Imagine if they watched this. That's what I was like. I don't really miss the people I hung out with. Just because we got to... my eye twitched a little bit. I was like, ooh, girl.
Right?
Hey now.
Right?
No, I think a little bit of irritation slipped in. It's not so much that I miss them. I just kind of miss those memories and those feelings. For sure. You know?
That, like, youthful feeling of, like... Yeah. Kind of just being able to do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. No, I definitely miss that. But then also, I think about, like, where I am now compared to, like, who I was in high school. Yeah. Oh, that's even, like, my senior year of high school. Like, that's just completely two different people. For sure. And, I mean, I know, like, who I was, like, my senior year, or, like, during high school. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that me would love to see, like, me now. Yeah. Like, this is, like, truly who I wanted to be in high school. Yeah. But, like, I just... like, for whatever reason, like, I just couldn't, like, attain that. So, like, in some ways, like, well, not in some ways, in many ways, I am much happier now than, like, obviously in high school. But, like, if I was able to be myself now and in high school and be able to still, like, have that, like, opportunity to, like, just fuck around and, like, do whatever you want,
that's kind of what it is. It's just, like, the whole, like, I feel like in high school, well, okay, so... the bright side is I found these old videos and stuff, and they were just, it was like when I first got this camera we're filming on, and I was just filming random-ass moments. Yeah. And I remembered, I was like, you know what? I actually did have a really good high school experience. Yeah. After my parents were divorced, and we moved.
Oh, your parents divorced? My parents were divorced, too. Oh, my God.
Crazy? Is that why this...
is working?
I think so.
Is that why we're funny? I think so.
Maybe, possibly, strongly.
Do with it.
Well, I think after that and after we moved, and I was like in a way better like headspace.
Yeah.
I had better friends, or like I think I was just really finding my people and finding myself, and other people were like me. I didn't really feel so much like an outcast in high school and stuff. And yeah, I think like looking at those videos, I was like, I did have a lit ass time in high school. Actually,
I had a fun time. Yeah.
And so now I'm trying to tell myself, you didn't waste that time.
Yeah.
You just fucking forgot. And I think I blocked a lot of it out.
Yeah, maybe that has something to do with it.
Because I think part of it is they are kind of painful memories in the sense of like, I'm not friends with those people anymore. I don't have connections with those people anymore.
Yeah.
Like, part of me doesn't like watching those videos because I remember when things went sour, but like watching before it did, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I was having a really great time, and I don't think I wasted my youth because we really were doing. Oh, see, she stopped recording, little hoe ass bitch. How many derogatory things can I? Okay. Yeah, I wasn't wasting.
Yeah.
I don't think I wasted my youth. I think I had a great time. We were always...
Yeah.
And I think a little bit more so now, like, we were always taking pictures, but not just, like, taking, like, okay, like, let's smile. Like, we were having adventures. We were driving around. I mean, I found some footage where I don't even know where we were, but we were somewhere, and we found this, this abandoned truck.
Yeah.
And it was kind of old, and then, like, a shit ton of bricks around it and all this weird stuff. And we just found that, and then we were just hanging out there. And I don't even know where we were. It was definitely, like, an hour or so away from here.
Yeah.
And even the photos we were taking, like, we were thinking about them. We were, like, you know, we were putting some thought into it, and they were... it was skillful shit. So I don't feel like I wasted it. I just think I forget sometimes because I don't want to remember because again all I think about is like, okay, well, I'm not friends with those people anymore. Like, but I think it's not so much. I think everybody just kind of outgrew each other. It didn't really work, or like we were just really immature because now I think like I'm definitely happier now. I definitely have like way less toxic people in my life.
Oh, for sure.
Like, way better friendships. Like people who get what friendship means.
Also, like, you know, being an adult is sometimes fun. Like, being able to, like, just kind of do whatever you want.
Oh, literally.
Like,
yeah.
That,
like, there was a high of, like, forgive me, parents. I was, like, sneaking out. Like, that shit was fun.
That shit was fun. But then also, like, now, like, we don't have to sneak out. If we want to, like, go out and then come back whenever, like, we can do that.
Which I love. And, like, and that's the best part about your freshman year of college is you're, like, nobody's policing you, you know?
I remember, like, the first, like, official, like, trip that I ever, like, planned, like, with my friends after high school, where I didn't, like, really have to ask my parents, like, if I could go or not, and we just planned it. I was like, wow, I can just go to the beach if I want. I mean, granted, I need the money, but, like, but, like, if I wanted to do that, I could just do it.
That actually is really fun, and that level of, like, being independent and just being, like, texting your parents, like, oh, yeah, just so you know, I'm going here this weekend, or I'm doing this, and, like, and
they're just, okay.
Yeah, right? Because, you there's definitely pros. Yeah. There's definitely pros to it.
But there is a certain level of, like, I don't know if it's just kind of, like, trying to, not glorify the whole thing, but, like, a wishful, like, oh, in your youth, and, like, sneaking out, and then, and then you can't, like, your parents are just trying to tell you no, but you just want to go have fun. Like, there is a certain element of, like, wow, like, that was the time.
Yeah.
And, like, being able to tell your friends, oh, yeah, like, I snuck out to, like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
like, that was just kind of, I don't know, those are fun stories to tell.
Exactly. But I think, I don't know, because then sometimes people tell, like, stories now, and you're, like, sometimes you have to be, like, okay. Sometimes you have to be a messy person to have those wild stories. Oh, no,
for sure. Which is kind of, like, I'm a little bummed out, because, like, my anxiety doesn't let me be too messy. Yeah. Because I'm constantly thinking, like, that I've always been like this. Like, that's why in high school I could never really have those, like, crazy, messy stories. Was because my anxiety was always just like, hey, but what if this happened? Yeah. And, like, I was always so aware of the consequences of, like, not even if, like, my mom would find out. Because I know, like, my mom trusted me. She knew most of the stuff that I did. Like, just because, for A, I'm not sneaky. And then B, like I said, she trusted me. She'd much rather have me tell her where I'm going than me sneak out and her not know. So it's like, I had that level of, like, not really, like, having to worry too much. But then I just didn't want to get in trouble. But same. Like, I'm just too much of a baby. I don't like getting in trouble.
Yeah, like, same. No, I totally get that. And, like, again, when you become an adult, you're so aware of that. You're like, do I even have money to, like, pay somebody back if they bail me out of jail? I will say, like, okay, bailing out of jail, I'm like, shit, I can get arrested. But then also, like, when you're drunk, you don't have those consequences.
Yes. Like, you don't care, like... Yes.
Yeah.
You're like, did I just pay $10 for a drink? Yeah, I did.
That's true. And I think sometimes, like, I mean, 2019 wasn't, like, the greatest year ever. But then I do look back at photos.
First half was good. I'll say first half. They had us in the first half. I had a good first half of 2019.
Yeah. I mean, there definitely were moments. Yeah. And I think, and this is a point I wanted to make, is we live in a society. I always hate being like,
you live in a society.
Sorry,
I live in a constant fear of anxiety.
No, what's the theory? It's the social order, or what is it? When you, like, see yourself into the mirror or whatever.
Oh.
And you're part of the, what's it called?
The fucking
complex something.
Yeah.
Complex.
Yeah.
What is it that's gonna drive me crazy? Basically when you're part of society, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The
Come on, psych major.
The motherfucking I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay, cool. Well, anyway, so I think about that.
Yeah.
Where was I going? Anyways, we live in a society that is very, like, media-based and all the senses, and then we all, since fucking forever, since fucking John Hughes hit the motherfucking scene, we've, like, just grown up on these, like, coming of ages and stuff, and we see these coming of ages, and we think that's how our life needs to be, and we need to be living up like that, and, like, I think you just have to, and I mean, that's how they profit. That's how they profit off of us, is because
the yearning, and the desire for something more. Like. Yeah,
or for that escape, or for expecting life to be more than that. But, I mean,
sometimes the coming of age lasts, like, fucking 10 years. Like, bitch, I'm still going through my coming of age. Like,
I will still be going
I will still be going through that.
Yeah, exactly. And, so I just think, like, I don't know. Like, I try not to let that get to me, because you're trying to hold yourself up to these expectations, or you hear all this whack-ass shit that your parents did or whatever, and, like, while that was cool...
But that was a different time.
Exactly.
That was such a different time.
There's so much more consequences now. Yeah. There's so many more ways for people to find out what you're doing.
Yeah.
And also, then I mean, like, I shouldn't say who, but I have some family members who have, like, great ass stories, like, they're fun as fuck. I'm like, oh my god, I've not even come close to the crazy ass shit that you've done. But they did that stuff when they were on drugs, when they were on alcohol, and now they're alcoholics.
Look at all
drug addicts.
Look at them now.
Yeah, exactly. So then I feel like,
hello,
Mayo.
Our neighbors.
Sorry, our neighbors. We're filming a podcast, neighbors. Wait, they're home?
We don't know who they are. They're never home.
They're probably
never
home. Anyways, I mean, I feel like we're living up to their expectations. I feel like it honestly all started in the 80s, and we're, like, trying to live up to that, but it's, like,
when you think about it, the 80s was really the first time that, like, as teenagers, you could have that, like, opportunity to, like, explore. Because, I mean, before that, like... There was fucking wars. There was, like, you were expected to immediately, like, start working. Like, school.
That's true.
School
have
wasn't,
a family.
like... have a family. Like, going off, like, even sometimes, like, even graduating high school or college. Like, that wasn't always, like, expected, because you were wanted to, like, you know, provide for the family and go ahead and, like, go off. And so, like, 70s, 80s, that's really the first time that, like... like teenagers had the opportunity to like be teenagers.
That's true. Yeah.
Which explains why they went fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and I feel, and we've had this conversation, like, I feel like people a part of our generation, we see our parents and we see the effects of living that life has had, and then you're kind of drilled into the consequences of that, and, like, you really have to think that stuff through. And, I mean, I'm sure any of us can think of somebody who, like, they're living a lit-ass life, and it's crazy. I mean, like, and I'm saying lit-ass, like, not adventuring. You gotta have a certain type of money and privilege and job to do that. I'm talking more like people who are just like partying and have those crazy ass stories, but they're not somebody who you always really want to be close with because
it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. They don't always have, and this is a generalization, but they don't always have like the best personality traits. Like there's people who I think are so cool, they're living the life I want, but then I meet them, I hang out with them a little bit, and I'm like, you're not somebody I really trust. You're not somebody who cares or whatever, and then it's just like it's not good, you know. I think we're just so aware of the consequences of everything, and then also too, we're a generation that's more aware of mental illness and like
everything that's like surrounding that, like basically everything that the generation before has kind of ignored and was like you shouldn't, not basically just being like you know, like this stuff doesn't matter, or like being like not like politically correct, or like being too sensitive, like,
or they're dependent on things, which doesn't help the mental illness, you know? So, so, like, there's that, and, like, then all these movies that we're watching, they're not even talking about depression or anxiety, and, like, you can't live up your life sometimes because of that, you know? Like, sometimes you just want to be home, and that's okay. It's okay and then there's, like, FOMO, and then you look at your phone, and there's all these people with, like, their false realities of like, oh my god, I'm literally living my best life. They're in like their little bikini photos on the beach, and you're like, fuck, I want to be there.
I want to be on the beach in a bikini, like,
but like that's not reality. It's not realistic, you know. So, anyways, I'm trying to find some peace of mind with that, you know.
Well, like what you always tell me, because I know I get into my like type of mood where I mean, you know, I get stuck in the past a lot. I'll be going through like, you know, the old pictures and be really like sad because of like seeing how good something was, and then now that's like not there. But like the past, like kind of like we've been saying, like it's not always that great. Like we kind of pick and choose what we want to remember.
That's true.
Like, you know, we'll see pictures of like the really fun times, but then what's not shown is like the like really fucking awful times of like that. And then also like we ballin' now, like not ballin', but like
I have to
emotionally, mentally and emotionally ballin'. Physically, not there yet.
I have to keep reminding myself of that, like just to stop comparing myself to the past. I mean, I'm glad it's, I don't know, and now lately I've been looking at like, you know, when you look at old photos and you're like, I look so good then.
Oh my god.
But
dude,
right? But I have to remind myself that at that point in time, I was also looking at old photos and thinking I look good then. Like I always keep thinking that. But lately though, I'm looking at old photos and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking?
There's like two different times where like,
let me.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm on a glow up. I just keep looking better.
Yeah.
And I know what I'm doing now. It took long enough.
Like,
took a while.
We're figuring it out. But like,
I'm glad I'm just not doing that. At least
I'm
not looking back and being like. But I all my friends who do that, I try to remind them and myself.
Yeah.
Just like you were doing the same thing at that time. Like you're looking at yourself a year ago. Ooh. Still happening. Is that filming? As I hit the camera. Hold on. Can you? Oh, it's because I'm not hitting the right button. Okay. Anyways, you were looking at yourself a year ago, and a year ago, you were looking at yourself whenever, and you were like, oh, I looked better then, you know? So
yeah. Well, like for me personally, like I'll look back at pictures and be like, wow, like I looked great then. But yeah, like you were saying, like during like when that picture was taken, like like sure you can look great, but like. It's not always it. Like, kind of, at least for me, like, kind of, like, remembering, like, everything that went into, like, looking like that, it, like, wasn't great. And, like, like you kind of, at least for me, like, I kind of forget. I'm like, ooh, that was not a great time. Like, sure, like, I might have, like, looked good or, like, thought I looked good, but, like, it wasn't, like, a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
And then also, like, now being around people who, like, really get you and, like...
Yes.
And being able to have the freedom of, like, yeah, sure, like, I looked good back then, but, like, now I'm trying to, you know, I'm still trying to look good, but I'm able to experiment in different ways of, like, what that necessarily means. And being able to, like, surround yourself with people who accept that and, like, will, like, encourage you to, like, do whatever. And it's, like, it feels, like, really good.
Yeah, and you're not in high school where you're constantly around other people who are judging you, making you feel less, or, like, scrutinizing you, or if that's a word. I don't know if you can say scrutinizing, but... There's that, and you're also not around people who feel like you need, you know, you had friends then who were like, we need to talk every day, like, you're almost dating them. Yeah. You know, like, I think I like now that, like, at least the people I'm around, we have very adult friendships. Like, I don't feel like I have, like, the best friend, the one singular. I have multiple, and I have plenty of people who it's like, we'll check in every now and then. We'll make sure it's like, oh, it's been a second. Let's hang out, you know?
Well, and being able to, like, be friends with people and not have to talk every single day.
Yeah.
Like, and just knowing that, like, sure, we're not talking every single day, but, like, when we do, it's exactly, like, how it was before.
Exactly.
And then being able to jump back in those conversations and have fun catching up. Like, I love catching up with people. Like, if it's been, like, a couple weeks and we haven't talked, like, being able to have those long conversations about, like, oh, well, how's life been? And this is what I've been up to. What have you been up to? Yeah. I love conversations like that because it kind of reminds you of, like, wow, everyone's, like, living their life at different paces.
True.
And, like, we can still just exist and, like, be able to talk.
Exactly, and going to people for different things, too. Like, I have some friends who I just know, like whatever I need, they're the better friend for it. Yeah. You know? And, like,
and that's okay.
Yeah,
like,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that because everyone has different, like, you know, things that they're good at handling or talking about or knowledge. Like,
sorry, the train just splashed back on my face.
But yeah, like, it's completely okay to have different people. Like, something that I may be comfortable talking to one person about, maybe this other person doesn't either have the experience or knowledge to be able to understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. And that's completely okay. I would never hold that against them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, that's where I'm at mentally. God, and it was literally just shifted like that, like, an hour ago or whatever, but I think that's really everything I would want to say on that topic. Just, like,
basically, nostalgia's a bitch, and it's not all that, like, the past is not everything that we make it out to be. Like,
exactly.
That's why it's said over and over again, you can't live in the past.
That's true.
Just because, like, I mean, you just can't. There's too many things that you choose to not remember, and then you glorify other things. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, when I think about then and I think about now, I'm definitely in a better place. It's just, like, we're finding our grounding, I think. Yeah. I mean, I know everybody wanted this to be the year, you know? We were like, yes!
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet.
It's only April?
Yeah.
Are we halfway through April? What day is it? Oh, my God. We're already halfway through April? What the fuck?
I'm just ready. I just need to stop telling myself that, like, every day needs to be a hype-ass day. And that's hard during the summer, too. Because you feel like it needs to be like that in the summer. But I know I'm living, like, a good-ass life. And I know it's, like, where I'm at is awesome. All these relationships that I have are so positive. And great. And, like, like, not every day is, like, crazy cool, blah, blah, blah. I mean, because, again, we're not fucking in high school. Like, I mean, I have,
like, sometimes you gotta
save my money.
Yeah, sometimes you have to have an adult moment and be like, listen, I gotta prioritize some things. Yeah. And if going out and getting back out doesn't happen, then you know what? Sometimes it's just, that's what you gotta do. Yeah.
But I think, hopefully, when this is all over. Yeah. I'm hoping, and it's hard too because not everybody's on that, like, wave that you want to be on, or...
But, like you've been saying, like, I think when all this is over, like, the whole, like, coronavirus quarantine, we're all going to be on the same wave.
And I'm ready. I hope it's, like, my birthday.
Her birthday was a lit-ass time, and everyone was... It was good.
Everybody was on the same wave. We were all on the same wave. And because, like, sometimes, you know, when you go out, and it's totally valid, you or your friends, somebody who's just, like, they're like, I don't really want to get that lit. Yeah. And, like, that's okay. But my birthday, everybody wanted to. We were all living it up. That was insane.
Speaking of, like, thinking about the past and feeling nostalgic, I obviously, like, I love that night, but, like, that's not like, a sad nostalgia that I think about. Like, I think about that, and I think about what a lit-ass time that was, and, like,
so
thinking of that memory makes me so happy.
Yeah.
And, like, but it doesn't make me sad. It makes me happy for, like, more nights like that to come. And maybe it's because we're still living in that moment to where it's not, like...
True.
That kind of thing, but like nights like that make me excited for the future.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping like it'll be like that after summer, like we're all just like let's live it up. Yeah. I think everybody's just we've been dealing with a lot and there's a lot and there's so much pressure on us. And it's just a different world.
Well, in the past, like, 5 minutes, all I've had is just Ribs by Lorde playing in my head. Like, no, that one fucking line, like, it feels so scary getting old. Like, but I'm like, I think that's why, first of all, that song resonates with so many people and, like, why it literally just, like, heartbreak. Yeah. But, like, it's because I've been thinking, in the past 5 minutes, this is what I've been formulating in my mind. But it's like, we feel nostalgic towards the past because we know what that is, and we know it's so familiar, and even, like, all the good, the bad, we know what it was, and, like, we can prepare for that, but, like, the future, like, I don't fucking know what's gonna happen, like...
That's true.
It's kind of like the same thing, like, what's that saying, like, face the enemy you know, or something like that, like... You know,
I know that phrase.
I'm probably not saying it right.
That's right.
But, like, it's like I'd much rather deal with something that I already know than, like, go off into this whole new different thing. Yeah. And that's kind of, like, what makes it so scary. It's like the future's scary and the past is sad, so, like...
I mean, honestly, I think that's why...
Sad girl apartment.
Sad girl pad. Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of why quarantine's also kind of daunting is because, like, we don't know, and there's no, like, end date. I think that's what gets to me, is there's not an end date. There's no definitive. Yeah. But, yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree with what you're saying, and, like, I think the other thing, too, is you see other people who are, like, the same age as you or younger, and they're just already, like, so successful, and they're just, like, they're just off of it, and it's, like, that's so awesome, and you want to be them, and then you don't feel like you're sufficient enough, or you're not good enough, because you're, like, oh my god, I have all these dreams, but I feel like, well, one, they hustled to get there. Yeah. Sometimes, two, they had a little help. They had a little help to get there. But I think we just have to get past comparing ourselves to others, because I think that's when you just hurt yourself. And then I think we have such ageist mentalities, and I think we have to get past that. Like,
well, that's kind of like what I'm saying. Like, it's the youth isn't the only time for like these lit ass like experiences. Like, you can you can be in your 30s, even 40s. I don't fucking know. Yeah. However old, and still have a lit ass time. I mean, granted, there might be like a little more like adult responsibilities, and like hangovers might be a little worse. But like, that just because like you get older doesn't mean that you can stop. If anything, like I would think theoretically you should have more money, and so like you could ball a little harder. But like it doesn't have to stop. Like,
that's true. And I feel like we have to keep telling ourselves that. But I love
like there's not like an end date to any of this.
But I love the more articles that are coming out, or like I like the celebrities who you see that like are kind of like, look, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my 40s, and I'm doing this. Like, I know I'm gonna say your last name wrong, or I'm gonna remember it wrong, but Ava DuVernay, she directed A Wrinkle in Time, the remake. Yes. She directed oh god, it was the Central Park 5 or something like that. Or
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I follow her on Instagram. I should just look it up.
What's that called?
Yeah, I'll just go on her IMDb. But she was like 35, and then she just like hopped on the scene as a director, and she's like killing it. Like,
well, even like I can't remember. I can't remember who this was, but I saw a celebrity, and it said like so and so celebrates their like 30th birthday or like 35th birthday, something like that. And my first thought was like, wow, like they're that old, but then I'm like, that's not fucking old.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's not old.
DuVernay.
Let me see.
DuVernay.
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 We're just making fools of ourselves.
I know. She's gonna. When They See Us, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
I still need to watch it, but I know I'm gonna be so depressed.
I got halfway through that, and I think I cried probably all the episodes, and I cried, and I was fucking furious.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
anger. And...
I was so angry.
Yeah, I know.
But it was so well done. Like, it was so good, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, it made me so angry and, like, upset. Because, like, just seeing it. But it was very good.
Yeah. I know it's, oh my God, I keep burping. I'm so sorry. But it's on my list.
Yeah.
I just have to.
Yeah, no, be in the right headspace.
But yeah, or last example, of course I don't remember her name, but the chick who plays the recent Aunt May and Spider-Man.
I don't know her name, but yes.
But she's in her 50s and she looks good.
Oh my God, she looks great. She looks hot.
And she does, and everybody's like, Aunt May can't be hot, and people are like, get out of your head that's
Aunt May is hot. Okay,
right? But that's what a 50-year-old needs to look like. Is this old ass lady? Like, this works. Like, stop being ageist. But I think we have to tell ourselves, like, your teens and your 20s shouldn't be the only time in your life where you should be living it up. Or even your 30s. Like, your 30s, you don't need to be settled down by 35.
Well, it kind of is all, like, a little echo from, like, it's all, like, a ripple from, like, the 80s, 90s, when, like, when you're expected to have these lit-ass times. But it also, like, I mean, if we really want to get into it, like, the concept of, like, losing your virginity or having sex for the first time when you're, like, 15, 16, like, around that age, like, that is so young.
And there she goes again. No, that's incredibly young.
Yeah. I mean, but the whole concept of that's when you're, like, expected to, like, have sex or whatever, like, first of all, that's fucking ridiculous. That's so young. Like, you, like, whenever you feel comfortable, like, that's the correct age it should be, like, whenever you're comfortable with that. But it's, like, the idea of you're supposed to start doing all this stuff so young.
Yeah.
And then that's, like, you leaves the rest of your life for what? Like...
That's true, yeah. And the for what is to, like, meet somebody you're supposed to be in love with.
Settle down and have kids by the age of 20.
And have a mortgage.
Like, no.
No, literally.
That's our age. Like, that's a... Like,
I'm so thankful that I only know one. I'm only friends with one married couple. I'm only one.
I know, one. I think I know, like, three. Yeah. Like, 3 or 4 couples, I think.
I mean, I know that.
And I know 2 and 3 or 4 couples, and then 2 people outside of those couples already have kids, which is terrifying. And I'm like, I know that wasn't planned, but they seem to be having a great time. So
yeah, my one married couple friend, good on them.
Yeah,
like, good for you guys. It's working out very well.
Granted, the couples that I know that are engaged, they do seem genuinely happy. So I'm like, okay, that's sure.
I feel like people want to shit on me when I get this way because my parents are divorced.
Yeah.
You know, where I'm like,
yeah.
You know, I feel like I don't want to get married. I don't think I will ever want to.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if that changed. I mean, imagine I'm like 36 watching this and I'm like about to get married.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. But I mean, I don't see myself settling down until my 30s or like mid 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck, maybe my 40s. But then there's that crazy pressure that people are like, well, biologically, and do you want to be an old parent?
Well, first of all, I want to adopt. So, like,
go off.
I want to adopt.
Kids.
Well, I think I would like kids, but the
whole
like
one.
Oh, one single, one child, please. Thank you. Don't be shy. Just one. Just put one. But like, I don't know if I believe in, like, marriage necessarily.
Yeah.
If any, I can't really think of any good reason why. I mean, obviously, like, well, it's like, because at least for me, like, in my personal life, seeing the examples of people that I know that are married and kind of how everything's, like, gone to shit once they got married, like,
which is crazy.
I don't get that.
Like, you can date for 10 years, then you get married, and then
shit hits the fan. Like,
wild.
I don't get it. And so, like, and again, it's just from the examples that I've seen, like, growing up that are still around me. It's like, marriage isn't, I don't know what it is, but, like, marriage don't always work. Yeah. I mean, not to say, I do plan to have a long-term partner. Like, that's kind of, at least for me, that's my end goal. Like, I would like to have someone to, like, long-term, like, be my partner. Mm-hmm. But, like, marriage, if it means a lot to my partner, if they truly, like, if that's something that's, like, really important to them, then, I mean, I'm not, like, really against it in a sense. It's just I personally don't really care. But if it's something that my partner wanted to do, then I'd be like, sure, why not? But then that brings in the question. Actually, no, I'm not gonna bring that topic up yet. We're gonna wait for a little bit.
Sorry, I got what thoughts?
Okay, yeah.
Well, one, I see relationships for me.
Yeah.
I just think, and even in the one that I'm in now, it's just like, it's just good until it doesn't make sense anymore. Okay. You know, like that's how I see them. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be one of those, like, lucky people. Yeah. Where I'm like, oh my god, yes, I'm gonna, like, love and it's gonna be awesome to be around this person for the rest of my life. You know, like, I'm always gonna want to try. You know, because I think that's part of it is, like, when you get married, I think you stop trying. Like, you feel like you don't need to make this effort anymore. Yeah. I think that's what some of it is. I mean, I think it's scary. It definitely scares me to, like, well, one, I try not to be dependent on the people I'm dating. Like, I don't, my fucking social media accounts don't become my fan page for them.
Let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that. If you're dating someone and your fucking social media page becomes a literal fan account for your partner, I'm sorry, I'll shame you. I'll call you out. I don't care. Yes. If all you post is not even like, well, I guess like you and your partner, but if it's like specifically just like your partner or you and your partner, the entire blocked. I'm sorry, unfollowed. I don't want to see that.
Nobody wants to see it. I promise you. I'm sorry, I promise you. But you're probably one of the few people who think your partner's cute. Yeah. We don't think your partner's as cute as you think they are. And I get it. You're like, oh my god, like, I need to show them off. They deserve it.
You don't need to do that.
We don't fucking care.
No one
Nobody
cares.
Nobody cares.
Make a little private Instagram for whenever you feel the need to do that. And label it me and my partner's co-account.
Do you have a following? Nobody cares unless you have a following.
I don't. I think I am just very
anti-hetero. That's what it is. It's because of hetero people.
Yeah, it is. Anti-hetero. I'll get that tattooed right here. Keep that shit away from me. I don't want it.
My new tramp stamp. Anti-hetero.
Anti-hetero.
No, but literally, straight people can be so cringe sometimes.
I don't have the time or patience for that, and I don't care.
I don't care.
Also, if you're a man, fuck you. First of all, I don't want any extra men in my feed. Like, I don't want any extra men other than
they're so vanilla.
Oh my god. Other than the ones I handpick to follow, like, I don't want to see you. Keep it away.
I mean seriously though. And it's just like I don't understand being that dependent on somebody. I feel like it's so important when you're dating somebody, it's to have your own lives. Yeah. I mean, you don't need to talk every day. I mean, outside of quarantine, like, in my own relationship, we only talk. I mean, maybe a day or two will go by and we'll be like, oh, okay,
you're still here.
How are you?
Good to check in.
How's things going, you know? But, like, you don't need to, and I feel like you don't have to like all of the same things. And it just keeps it interesting. Like, I don't want to ever leave a relationship and be like, oh, shit. Yeah. Like, I don't want to feel even more lonely because, boom, there goes all my friends.
That, I will say, that is one of my biggest fears, like, being in a relationship and, like, suddenly, like, losing myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm the kind of person that, like, that would let that happen. But, like, seeing that happen to other people, like, it makes me so sad.
Yeah. Well, I can't hang around people like that. Yeah. If you are so involved with your partner and all you can talk about is your partner, all you can post about is your partner, I just can't. I just think there's really a lot of value in individuality, and also I think it benefits your relationship. I mean, it keeps both of you interested.
It's healthy, like,
for sure, you know. And as someone who has both lived and not lived, I mean, we kind of did shit backwards. I mean, me and my current boyfriend, I mean, like, we lived together for a little bit, and then now we're not. I mean, everything's still fine. I mean, like, it is nice to live together, but we still had our own lives. Like, it didn't feel like...
Also, I think being able to recognize that, like, maybe we don't want to live together, but still be in a relationship. I think, like...
For sure.
I think that's completely okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just here, I'm like, shit on the normities of...
For sure.
Like, whatever you think is, like, a normal relationship.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, fuck that. Do, like, whatever you need to make your relationship work. If you really want to make it work, whatever you need, whether it's live together, don't live together, like, create whatever kind of schedule, or, like, do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think a relationship can be whatever you want it to be.
Yes.
If you enjoy spending time with this person and they make you feel good, I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think also just don't, like, go into it being needy. Let them know. Yeah. Even if you are.
Yeah.
Let them know you're not needy.
Yeah.
From what I've experienced, when I tell people I don't like neediness, I don't want you all over my asshole.
Yeah.
Why did I say that? I don't want you, like, all up in my business texting me all the time and, like, DMing me. Dude, I tried to date this guy who, if he saw the fucking green light on my Instagram, and I hadn't answered.
Also, first of all, people who, like, look for that to see if they're, that's weird.
No.
That's
right?
Weird.
And I would, like, ignore one of his messages because I hate texting, and he would, like, DM me and be like, oh, you're on Instagram? I was like, that's
and, like,
so
just for that,
unattractive.
you're getting blocked.
Yeah. But, I mean, just tell people that, because I think then, even if you're not, I think that also, again, like, creates a space.
Yeah.
Or, like, I don't know, like...
My soapbox I'll get up on, and I mean, this is, like, the absolute basic thing for any relationship, romantic, platonic, whatever, fucking communicate.
Oh my God, yeah.
I cannot preach that enough. Communication skills is, like, key in anything. Like, being able to say, like, what you're feeling to another person, and, like, and also... in return, being able to accept what that other person has to say back to you.
Yeah.
If you can successfally do that, I think you'll be like good to go in any type of relationship, like I said, platonic or otherwise.
Yes.
That's just the key foundations of anything. And people who I don't have time for people who want to play games. I hate that. I don't even like fun, like little, like, flirty games, like I don't care for that. I'm like, I don't like people who aren't straightforward. Because I honestly, like, I don't have time or the energy to, like, fuck around with, like, games or anything.
No.
So, like, tell me, like, how you're feeling. If something is upsetting you and you're not telling me, I'm not going to take the effort to be like, I mean, unless I really think that, like, something is genuinely wrong with you, or I see you, like, are, like, you know, looking, like, harmful or destructive towards yourself, then obviously I'm going to talk to you, like, hey, like, you know, what's going on? But if you're being, like, passive-aggressive or any shit like that, I'm done. I'll wait for you to talk to me about that, but I'm not going to try and be like,
you should tell, like, I have a problem. Like,
I mean, even if it's just being like, hey, I have shit going on right now. I'm sorry if it's affecting you. I just want to let you know that. I'm not comfortable talking about it right now.
Yes.
But just letting you know there's some shit going on and that's why I'm acting like that way. I'll be like, okay, yeah, totally fine.
Exactly.
Totally fine.
Exactly. And, I mean, I'm somebody who processes things late. Yeah. So, like, sometimes I'll be upset in the moment and I won't really understand why. And then later on I'll be like, oh, it's okay. But, like, it's important because when even in my platonic relationships, I've noticed when I hold on to things and I don't tell people how I'm feeling, then it doesn't end up well. And I just think, I've had plenty of falling outs because of that. Yeah. You know, and but also just stop trying to be around somebody who can't handle that. Yeah. I mean, there are plenty of toxic people. The moment you try to be like, hey, I'm not cool with the way you're acting, then they turn on you and they're like, okay, well, I didn't like that you... Of course, it stops recording. They're like, I'm not cool that you did this, and then it becomes like your problem, or like it just deal with things as soon as possible. As soon as you recognize like you're not okay with something, here's why. Go to that person. If they can't receive that, they're not worth having in your life, you know?
And it's, I know, I mean, ever since, like, you know, kind of becoming an adult and realizing that communication is, like, something that you have to do. Yeah. Those conversations, they're going to be awkward. They're going to feel weird. Like, that's just, because it's not, I don't feel like it's in our first nature to, like, to communicate or to talk about. It's always kind of been like deal with it on your own. And so if it feels awkward and like scary being able to, or being like having to open up and like say how you feel, but that's just, you gotta do it.
You have to. And I mean,
and that's just, I think that like that's a key point in growing up too. Like,
I mean, seriously,
looking at people who I like, even now, like people that I follow on like Twitter or Instagram, like just seeing the type of stuff that they like talk about, or if you think this way, blah blah blah, then like unfollow me, and I'm just like, grow up.
Yeah, I would rather have a conversation. You know, like I would, you know, like I'm so aware of like things that I say and do, and I beat myself up for it like so much, you know, because I never want somebody to feel bad because of my own actions. Or, like, I don't know, I just never want to do anything to hurt somebody else. And so like I'm so aware of that. So I mean of course you're
also
like,
oh sorry, continue.
No, I mean I was just saying, just like I think first nature, like you get defensive because you don't want to be that way. You don't want to be the way that someone's insinuating, but I mean, I get it. I can be that way, but at the end of the day, you just have to be like, oh shit, this is how I impacted somebody, and I need to realize that, like, you need to think about it and be like, now, I mean, sometimes people will twist the narrative. So you have to realize, you know, third eye, or what is it, third perspective, outside view, something like that. But, I mean, again, you have to evaluate, and when what they're saying holds true, you know it and you feel it, and you know you did wrong.
Yeah, and like I'm someone who I not only do I need communication, like, for me to be able to express myself, but like I'll make shit up in my brain. This is my own enemy right here. God. She does a lot of self-sabotage. So if my anxiety is saying like, oh, their vibes are off, what's going on with that? Like, I'll start making stuff up in my mind. So like I need that other person to be like,
validation. That's what I need.
Maybe I do need some validation, but I think there's a healthy amount of like, especially when you're aware of someone like me, who like my anxiety will trick. Oh, she will trick me.
Make shit up.
Ooh, and like even if it's just like one day where like, let's say like, I don't know, like someone like doesn't. They say something and like just slightly off and like whatever, their tone is just, or like if they don't say anything, or like if I even get the smallest sense that like their vibes are off,
they text a little weird.
I'm just like, oh my god, they hate me. I'm like, I don't know what I did, but they hate me.
Yes, you totally think it's you. I think that's the other half of communication is being like, hey, I'm feeling weird. So then you don't make the other person.
And being able to say like, hey, just so you know, like, this is something that, like, I have to deal with, so if I need a little extra validation, like, that's on me, but, like...
Oh my god, the amount of people I've had to tell, like, I overthink things.
Oh my god.
Please tell me if it's just a you thing and it's not a me thing. Because I will sit here and I will be like, is it me? Did I do something?
And, like,
I will ask.
Everyone is different. Like, let's say with one person, if they respond, like, a certain way in their text, like... You'll be like, oh shit, but then...
They put a period
they
in.
put a period, and they don't normally put a period. That's when I'm like, oh shit. But then someone who I know, who, like, normally uses periods and punctuation in their texting, if they do that, then I'm like, okay, well, that's just them. So being able to communicate with different people and be like, this is how I respond. Also, when I'm, like, talking to someone new and I'm texting, oh my god, I'm so overly enthusiastic.
Oh my god.
Because I'm like...
Explanation points everywhere.
But now, like, if I know someone for a long time, like, now when, like, you and I text, I'll just be like, nah, that's cool.
I know.
I'm like, just because I don't really care for texting too much, like, and so... I'll just do, like, one-word responses. Every now and then, I'll text something, and I'll be like, you'll probably take it the wrong way, like, just because I know you, and, like, I know that, like, if I respond like this, then, like, so I'll be like, let me just add, like, a little emoji or, like, something, or, like, a smiley face.
I have to fight that voice in my head. Like, no, honestly, with the same thing, sometimes you will be like, I'll say something and you'll be like, and like, don't take it the wrong way, don't take it the wrong way.
And I guarantee you, on my end, I sat there for, like, 5 minutes being like, yes, yeah.
But see, these type of conversations are good because then
this is our own little therapy.
Exactly. But this is a prime example. Like even just telling people how you are and how you act, I think that helps overthinkers remind themselves and have that voice of reason come in and be like, no, that's just them. Like, I hate to keep bringing up my boyfriend, but that's probably one of the most stable relationships that I have. Anyways, like a lot of this applies. But, I I mean, with him, like, there's stuff I used to get so mad about, and I used to think about so much.
Yeah.
And then now it's just kind of like he'll do things, and then he'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, but then it's like, I know that's him, and I know that's how he is.
I love learning about new people. In my head, it's like a little, like, no, I'm not like a video game, but you're like, oh, I unlocked a new trait about this person, or like, I love like creating like new relationships with people, just because it's like I love learning all of their like little like quirks and like how they act and why they act that way. Yeah, and like it's just. I just love doing that.
But I think part of, like, getting older and, like, growing up and being mature is thinking, like, oh, okay, it's not me. That's just how they are. Like, and I have to remind myself. Also, learning
that you, like, can't control everything. And, like, no matter how much you tell a person, like, hey, this blah, 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 and then they still do that. Just because that's in their nature. And it's not necessarily, like, a thing meant with, like, malice or whatever. That's just how they are, and that's in their nature. Yeah. And being able to learn that you can't control everything about that, oof.
That hits different.
Yeah.
And I think...
And being okay with it and knowing that, like, that's maybe to me, personally, it might mean something, but when they do that, it doesn't mean anything. Like... Yeah. And just learning to, like, work with that.
Exactly. So I think that is so important. And then, again, like... Or just reminding people, like... Again, with my boyfriend, I have to remind him, like, hey, you did this thing. Remember, I'm an overthinker. Yeah. So you have to validate me. You have to remind me that, like...
Because, like, people are so complex.
Yes.
Like, there's I mean, when you think about it, like, even at our age, like, 20-ish years of, like, history and things that have made people the way that they are like, today... Exactly. Just, like, you got a lot of backstory there.
Yeah. Or I think it's so important, too, to put yourself in someone's shoes. Like if somebody's giving you a little bit of attitude, be like, okay, it's not me. Like, what if they talk to me about? What do I know that they're going through? What if they talk
also
about?
Also, just knowing if someone has an off day, you're like, that does not mean that it has to do with me. And that's something that I have to constantly remind myself.
Yes. Like, it's not me. Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's also important to, like, walk through life with the mentality of, like, there isn't a problem unless someone tells me there is.
Yeah, like, I've had to accept that.
Exactly. Like, I am going to be oblivious to this problem. I'm not going to overthink it. If they have a problem with me,
then they can talk to me.
They can talk to me. Otherwise, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to live my life. And if they need to address it, if they have an issue with the way I'm acting, then they can be mature and they can be an adult and they can come to me and talk to me.
Because also that's some people's like way of like coping is like having to figure stuff out and deal with that on their own. And then when they're ready, like they'll talk to you about like because I mean some people like you just need time to like to figure it out.
Yeah,
and you can't push someone to talk about something until they're ready.
Exactly, and I think that's the fair thing to do. Yeah. I think people.
Not everyone reacts and copes in the same way.
Exactly, but bottom line is just like communicate. Like, I also think, like, I mean, I think it's fair. Like, it's fair to cut off people who are toxic. Yeah. But I think you should at least talk to them first.
I've had relationships in the past where I don't want to say it was toxic, but, like, just being able to say, like, hey, like, right now, what you're going through and what you're dealing with, I can't help you with that. Like,
fair.
Like, it's not healthy for me. Yes. To be the one to help you deal with that, and I'm so sorry about that, but, like, there comes a certain point where you have to look out for yourself.
And that's completely valid, too. But, yeah, I think the other side of it, too, is, like, if you keep going to somebody and you're like, hey, I have a problem with this, I have a problem with that, and they're
your
not
friends are not your therapists.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, if they're not changing their behavior and, like, what you have a problem with, I think then that's worth cutting them off. Yeah. But I think it's not fair to cut somebody off before even talking to them about it.
You have to have, like, I just believe before anything happens, like, you just have to have conversations with people about why things are going this way.
Yeah, and then if they're not getting the message or they keep doing what you've told them you don't like, then that's when it's, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm glad my brain is developing because it helps with my anxiety. It helps me not overthink things. And I mean, of course, like, it's stupid how many falling outs that I've had with people. Yeah. I hate it. I hate that, but then I look back at it and I'm like, well, would I want to be friends with them? And those people too, like, I gave them chances, or at least I felt like I did. Yeah. And here we are now. And you know what? The best people and the most solid people have come back into my life. Or they've been like, hey, we had this falling out, let's talk about it. Or, hey, like, you know what, I hear what you were saying and I get it now. Like, I think there is nothing wrong with feeling like somebody's doing something that you just can't get behind. Yeah. And you've tried, and you know what, that is okay. And if they're worth being in your life, they'll come back around. I believe in that. Again, even back to, like, romantic, platonic, whatever. A relationship is going to last as long as you need that person, as long as they need you, and as long as it works and it makes sense. Mm-hmm. And it is totally okay if that ends. Like, nothing is forever. And, I mean, that's why I don't believe in marriage, and that's also why I support divorce. Like, nothing is forever, and that's okay. Yeah. It's like, you needed them for that moment and for then, and it worked. And then when it doesn't, it doesn't. But if somebody is meant to be in your life, I do believe in fate in the sense that they will come back in your life. Oh, come back around. And whatever is meant to be, it'll happen. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big believer in, like, if something is meant to be, it'll find its way to, like, work itself out. And, like, so far in my life, like, I have found that to be, like, completely true. Oh, like, yeah. You know, like, going back to, like, high school, like, I found myself, like, looking at, like, relationships, again, like, platonic or otherwise with people, and being, like, at the time, it's just not working out. And, like, I was, like, really upset over that, but I kept having to remind myself and be, like, if this relationship is going to continue, it'll find a way to. Like, exactly. Just because, like, right now, like, maybe, like, me and the other person aren't in the right, like, headspace to, like, to be there for each other, that doesn't mean that's going to last for forever. Like, we'll find our way, like, back to each other and, like, be able... And if it's meant to be, then you'll be, like... You can pick up a good friendship or good relationship. You can pick up where you left off.
For sure. No, Oh, there she stopped.
There she goes again.
100%. And I've had friends who've, like, sorry, I hate that I'm burping, but we've had, there goes my phone. We've had falling outs and then we've come back together. Yeah. Because we went on our own paths, our own journeys, and it worked out and it's fine. And I've broken up with people like that. Yeah. Like, if we're meant to be, well,
then we'll be find a way. Exactly. See you later.
See you later. It's not working out. Yeah. No? But, I mean, I do believe in that. Yeah. I really do. But... yeah, anyways, I feel like, let's see how long we've been talking about this? I don't know. It's probably almost an hour.
It's probably time to move on. Real quick, our last little.
Yeah, but, I mean, I guess a good word of wisdom that my mom gave me after my dad got a divorce. She was just like, just communicate. Yeah. Just communicate. Yeah. That's the moral. Yeah. We really went off of that, and I didn't mean to.
That's not what we were planning to spend our time on, but, like, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you want to talk about?
Well, I'm more interested in what your original topic was going to be.
Do we want to segue that way? We don't have to.
I would like to, because I'm still invested in that, because I haven't finished it yet. Okay. I have, like, a couple episodes left.
You didn't want to talk about the other thing?
No. We can talk about this, because I want to. Cool. I have thoughts.
Alright, oh my god, sorry, ignore the fucking lighting. I know, it's a cloudy day, so
it stormed last night, so...
we survived that
tornado. Before we get off track, let's introduce what we're supposed to be talking about.
Yes.
Legend of Korra.
Legend of Korra.
In the Avatar universe.
Cinematic.
ACU.
I think Avatar about the fucking Rosa. She's been quiet.
She has been quiet. But we have been watching Avatar. Well, we watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, and now...
You really watched that.
Yeah, okay, I really watched it. Because I was rewatching it. Yeah. We've both seen it. Yeah. I was rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then we've been rewatching Legend of... Well, in our own way. It hasn't been together, but we've been also rewatching Legend of Korra.
Well,
I rewatched the first 2 seasons, and then I never saw the last 2, so now I'm watching the last 2.
Yeah. So, well, to be fair, I kind of went off the rails and binged that show.
She did. I was gone for, like, a day, and then I came back, and she's like, well, I finished the show, and I was still on season 2, so.
It's just, And that's why I was trying to have self-control.
Yeah.
And, like, not watch Avatar on my own, only watch it when you were.
Yeah.
Because I just knew, but I'm also really familiar with that show because, like, I watched it a lot as probably 9 to middle school. I watched that show a lot, and, like, when it was showing on TV and the reruns and stuff, I just, whenever it was on, that's the show I would click on. Like, I think at the point when it would be playing on, like, fucking Teen Nick, that's when I would really watch it.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched it, like, a few summers ago, and, I mean, it's just so good. But Legends of Korra, I think when it first came out, I tried to watch it and get into it, and I just didn't really. And then I did watch it, I think probably the same summer that I watched Avatar.
Yeah.
And then when we watched it together and then I really binged it, I think that was when I truly... First time I watched it, it's because I knew it was gay, and I was like, alright,
okay, let me sit through this one.
I've heard about it, you know, you read Tumblr, and you're like, oh, okay, alright, y'all. But I think this recent time that we watched it, I really appreciated it more. And I think that's why I only watched Avatar when you did, because I still, every episode we watch, I'd be like, I remember what happened.
Yeah, it was like a fun, the initial series, it was a fun, like, little thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it got super deep at some point. For sure. You're like, holy shit, they're like, what,
this
12,
is a kid's show?
12, 13, 14?
This all happened in a summer?
In a summer, dude, like.
The character development of motherfucking Zuko?
Let me get on my soapbox. One of my favorite characters throughout any TV show, movie, like, books, like, whatever, Prince Zuko and his fucking character art, I will die for that.
Yes.
Like,
one, his voice is hot.
Oh my god.
So distinct and hot.
So hot. Yeah. Just thinking about
the
that.
The shaggy hair when he grows it out.
Ooh. Yeah.
Peak.
Sorry. Yes. No, Prince Zuko, I fucking love him. He is, one of my favorite characters. And, like, when you really, God, I could write fucking essays and, like, theses on his character development. And not just the development, like, his, like, moral, like, complexity of him trying to find himself. And also Azula, too.
True.
Again, Prince Zuko, fucking love him. Azula, though, that's where you can really see the complexity. And
she's his foil.
Yeah, no, exactly. And, like, when you want to talk about, like, abused and abusive characters and, like, what that is to, like, grow up in that kind of, like, household and be, like, fucking groomed and, like...
Oh, my God, yeah.
And, like, what that does to a person, look at Azula. Like...
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like, when you really, like, look at her as a character, I mean, who can blame her for turning out the way that she did? True. Like, I mean, again, not to excuse anything that she's done, like, literally fucking tortured, like, people. Yeah. But, like...
There's reasoning behind it.
Yeah, there's definitely, reasoning. Not excuse, but reasoning. Yeah. Like... And when you look at that, and especially during her final battle, the final battle between her and Zuko, and I told you
Katara.
this, and Katara, when she jumped in. But, like, I told you that, like, after we finished that episode, like, she had literally lost. She was losing everything.
That weird maniacal laugh that she had, and her hair would get crazier the more that she kind of.
I'm a sucker for, like, a hair being a reflection of, like, a character's like mental state or, like, develop. I mean, the same thing with Zuko. Like, his hair like symbolizes development. Yeah, like that whole thing. But yeah, when you really want to look at a character who's like losing everything physically, mentally, emotionally, and, like, what that does to someone. Yeah. Azula.
True. Exactly.
And, like, it really just, but both Azula and Zuko, I'm just like, I love them both as characters, and I also love a good villain. I love a good villain.
Yeah. I think
a good complex villain who, like, who's not just, like, bad for no reason. Like, who,
like, the really, Joker or something.
Yeah. Like, I can appreciate, like, surface level villains on, like, a level like that, because I'm like, okay, not everything needs to have, like, a deep backstory. Yeah. You have to, like, pick and choose sometimes for that. Yeah. But, like, when you want a good character study, oh my god. First of all, Avatar is a great... I believe Avatar is a fucking great show for character studies. Like,
for sure. Like,
give me any character. I could write a whole essay on that. Like, fucking, like, Toph... I mean, obviously Aang, but, like...
Come on.
I'm, like, talking about, like, Toph's, like, character study and, like, what that is and how that reflects on her, especially growing up when you see, like, what she kind of turned into in Legend of Korra.
Yeah, I mean, even in that first episode or two,
yeah.
when she was introduced, they told you, like, she's like this because her parents are like this.
Which is really interesting because, I mean, when I was watching, like, Legend of Korra, and you see fucking Sue and,
yes.
And,
God,
why can I remember Sue's name?
Chief
Beifong.
Yeah. But what's her first name? Lin.
Yeah. When you see, like, Sue and Lin talking about how Toph gave them too much freedom as kids, well, that's because her parents didn't give her enough.
That's true.
And so if you only watched, like, Legend of Korra and you didn't know, like, why Toph's parents, you'd be like, she didn't care about her kids, which, I mean, like, Toph is a very complex character, like, clearly, and, like, she shows emotions in different ways, but, like, the way that she parents is a reflection of how she was raised.
Yeah, which I think that could say for any parent.
Oh, no, for sure, yeah. And, like, also, and that's not, like, and it also shows that parents don't really know what they're doing. Like, you've never done this before. Like,
the moment you realize your parents are humans. Yeah. I mean, truthfully, my personal theory is most of, like, your resentment and the way that you are and, like, your own issues stems from your parents.
Oh,
and that is because you realize your parents aren't perfect.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other shit of why they weren't
next
perfect.
Episode. Talking about our parents.
Let's dive into trauma.
Right? Not this episode.
My parents are gonna watch it and be like, oh, shit. What do we do?
Right? No, I'm kidding. Stay tuned. My mom did her absolute best. But like when you think about like, and I'm the oldest child too. So so are you. Yeah. So we're like, we really were the first pancake. Like, don't know what they're doing with that. I think I turned out pretty good. I mean, stay tuned. We'll find out. But
yeah, I mean, your parents aren't perfect, but you think that they are. Yeah. And then one day there's a day where you realize they're not.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
And then you're like, oh shit, I was way too hard on them. Like,
yeah.
But anyways. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, no, I fucking love all the characters, so fucking complex. Yeah. And how they travel from Avatar to Legend of Korra. And how you can see through the generations.
Yeah, and so, there goes my phone. But anyways, it's one of the few shows where I feel like a man wrote a female character well. Yeah. Because sometimes you'll write something like, oh my god, not write, but watch. Yeah. Like when I was watching the recent Men in Black, if you don't already know, I fucking love Men in Black. I think it's so good. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. I mean, of course the first movie's the best, but the rest of the trilogy I still love. I still think it's great. So I was super excited for Men in Black International, and I love that Tessa Thompson was in it. I was like, yes! Yeah. Because I thought we were so cheated how in the first movie they introduced a female agent, and then she wasn't in the rest of the movies. And so I was like, yes, finally, a female agent, and blah, blah, blah. But when I was watching that movie, I was just kind of like, are you kind of fucking kidding me? Yeah. Like, it just felt like it was written by a guy, and in the sense of, like, God, there was
movies where you can, or movies or TV shows where you can tell is written by a man.
Yeah, when those credits...
Men just don't know how to write female characters.
They don't. And my personal philosophy is just write them as you would anyways. Yeah. I don't really think there's too much of a difference between genders. And if there is...
I mean, when you stop looking at gender as, like, something that's...
As a binary...
Yeah, as a thing. I mean, it's 2020. Like, we know gender isn't real. Like,
exactly. And it only is when there's these gender roles that are imposed by people and the patriarchy and all that fucking bullshit. But anyways, I was watching that movie and I was like, this feels like it was written by a man, because there's too much of like, I am a woman moments and I am a woman and I'm doing this moments, and I was just like,
I'm over scenes where like where a female character gives this like speech about how I'm a strong woman, blah blah. I'm like,
and that's why I can.
Yeah, and screw men except for this one man who I'm like, no, I'm so over that, because that's just not.
Annoying.
It's at least for me, it's so annoying to see female characters who all it is their like strong female role. Like, I'm kind of past that being their strong, like their main defining point, because if it's for me a true like strong female character, that's not a statement that they have to make every other episode.
No, exactly. And that's what I had the problem with the movie. And also I feel like the screenwriter should have really just molded himself and the movie just to the first movie, just the humor that it was, and just there's so much just individuality. Oh my god, this fucking camera. Anyways, there's so much, like, amazing, just, I could write a whole essay about why I love that movie and why it's so unique and awesome. And I feel like he could have, but it was just too much of a blockbuster movie, and you know what I'm talking about. They just had to fit the mold. But anyways, those woman moments, and it just didn't fit and feel. And so when I saw the credits roll, I was like, that kind of looks like it's a man's name. And then I looked on IMDb, and it was a man, and I was just like, oh my god, of course. Yeah. But the one thing, anyways, I will say about the Avatar universe is those are the few men who can write female characters.
Dude, and it's really so refreshing. It is so refreshing.
Yeah, because they're not focused on her gender. Yeah. They're just the fact that she's a fucking character. Yeah. You know?
And like, that's the thing, like,
she's her own person.
Well, like, and so many people talk about, like, oh, like, I love a good complex character. I think all characters should be complex because there's no,
that's the reality.
Yeah, there's no binary of a good or bad or whatever. Like, you have, like, fucking, Uncle Iroh. Like,
oh my god, Iroh.
Like, looking at him as a character, like, you know, he started off being this, like, fire general who, like,
he was the Fire Lord for a little bit, right? Or no?
He was going to be, but then his son died, and he, like, went through that whole thing. But he attempted to overtake and hold Ba Sing Se, and, you know, he was a fucking general, and he led, like, you know, war, and it did all this really horrible shit, and then later on in life, like, I mean, I would have loved to be able to see more of how that development, like, came along, but obviously I get that it's a limited series, but being able for him to go through his life and end up to the point where he was in Avatar, or even in Legend of Korra, like, the bits that we get to see of him, like, it just, being able to see how he really, like, turned into this new person and this and becomes so at peace, and I feel like that's at least where he ended up as a character was only where he was when when the show ends is only a place where characters can be after going through, like, the things that he had. Like, you can't be
losing his son.
losing his son, like, having to go through that, like, great amount of trauma. I don't think a character or someone could get to that point of being so at peace with the universe and in touch with the spirits and aware of, like, nature and what's going on. I don't think a character can get to that point without having to go through the development that he did.
I completely agree. And, I mean, they even hint at, like, when he still was, like, that big baddie general in that one, like, flashback episode with Zuko, how, like, they kind of already thought lowly of him and that he was, like, weak and stuff. Yeah. But, no, I think it's interesting. And, oh, my gosh. What does this say? Change the battery. What? I thought she was charged. Oh my gosh. That's criminal. Okay. Alright, well, camera battery died.
A little intermission there.
So now we're filming on the laptop. So just
bear with us.
Sorry.
Again, this is first episode.
We're working it out.
We are working through it. So what we were talking about?
So we were talking about just character development. Yeah, but the writers of that show, I mean, the showrunners, they really were, like, kicking ass and shit. Yeah. And, okay, so now transitioning to, like, Legends of Korra. Yeah. Without spoiling too much, because...
I still haven't finished the last season.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, okay. So I won't
say
much.
So really not without spoiling too much. I'm, like, halfway through it.
Okay, alright. Ooh.
I know. I know.
Kind of, I guess, like, the background. If anybody remembers when it first, like, came out and shit, apparently, so the showrunners were kind of, like, running off the fuel that, like, their first series was so successful, so that they had more leeway room, and they could do more that they wanted. And Nickelodeon was like, yo, this shit is dark, almost too dark for kids.
Yeah.
Like,
it's especially the third season.
That's dark.
So intense.
It is, and you're like, this is a kid's show. So if you guys don't really remember it, or you felt like you fell off of it, that's because they halfway, I think, through the second season, or like season 3.
I think it was season 3, because initially when it was coming out, I had watched up to the end of the second season.
Yeah. They put it online. So if anybody feels like they missed out or they're like, oh, I fell off that show, it's because they put it online and they didn't really tell anybody about it. So,
which, like, that makes sense. Yeah. Like, it got really dark, which I love. I mean, I love, like, watching, like, you know, cartoons, like, anime, like, that kind of stuff. Because, I mean, it takes something that's, like, traditionally thought as, like, you know, animations, things like that, that's kid-ish type thing. Yeah. But, like, and like, making fucking art out of it. Like,
I mean, seriously, I mean, these guys, I can't remember the showrunners' last names, I'm very sorry, but
I should know, I've watched like fucking 1,000 episodes.
But they fucking just went for it and they did shit, and I love that I mean, what really struck me when it first came out, I mean, given I was, like, pre-woke, maybe, I was just younger, like, too young to really understand the dynamic and the complexity of the world, but I thought it was badass that it was a girl, you know, and I read an article.
Strong ass girl.
A strong ass girl.
Muscles.
And when I was reading, I was gonna be more prepared. I was gonna have fucking like quotations and shit, but I don't.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I was reading an article by Variety Fair and The Guardian that came out like right after the finale did.
Okay.
And they were talking about basically how like when Nickelodeon first was like, oh, a girl protagonist, and they, like, did it to, like, group testing, because they're always so concerned if boys are into watching it or not, and literally, like, the little boys were like, she's strong, we don't care, we love this, you know, like, kids don't care like that. It's crazy the people in Hollywood who still hold these, like, old-ass mentalities and traditions that just they don't mean shit anymore, but they still think that way, and that's why...
like, what you're saying with, like, why Teen Titans, like, got, like, canceled.
If anybody doesn't know that, it's because too many girls were into the show, and they wanted boys, and they thought they couldn't sell merchandise and action figures.
I would have
bought it.
Was my shit.
It was so good.
I would watch that show every single morning before like going to school. I loved that show.
Yeah,
and I would have bought the shit out of any merchandise.
Oh my god! I mean, I did for The Incredibles. Yeah, like I went to a fucking Disney store and bought whatever I could.
Yeah.
But that's why they canceled it, is because too many girls were into it. I mean, now we're in the world of, like, fangirls, which is awesome, because if you can get fangirls behind your shit,
dude, you're sold.
You're successful.
Yeah.
But it was before that, so then that's why if you ever watch the last episode and you're like, oh my god, this is where they ended.
Teen Titans,
of Teen Titans, then it's like, oh my god, really? Like, there's so much more that could have happened.
Yeah.
And that's literally because they were just like, canceled, you know? But also there's a lot of Napoleon Dynamite references in that last episode.
Really?
Yes.
I'll have to go back and rewatch that.
It's really funny. They literally have a character that looks just like him, and then they have, like, a vote for Pedro sign in the background.
That's so funny.
It's so weird. I made a Tumblr post about it forever ago, but didn't get a lot of reblogs.
Yeah.
I haven't been on Tumblr in a long time. But anyways, with Legend of Korra, I don't want to spoil too much, because I'm sure... Look, we're in a time of quarantine. Fucking binge that shit. Dude, it's on Amazon. Get your free Nick Hit subscription for a week. Then cancel it. You know the drill.
Or Amazon Prime. You got like it's free on that. I don't know when they did that. Oh, what other show? We saw some show that. Oh, maybe it was Teen Titans. No, it wasn't Teen Titans. We saw some other show. Zoe 101. Zoe 101 is also on Amazon Prime.
Is it?
It is.
I think they have a lot of Nickelodeon stuff on there.
In case you wanted a good...
Oh, yeah.
Since we're talking about nostalgia this episode.
Right? Anyways.
Right, if you really want to feel like a kid.
Anyways, with Korra, though, I've told this spiel to so many people. It's just... You don't realize how... It is definitely geared towards older people. And... I think it's once you get halfway through the second season when they really find their footing and they get past all the stupid romantic stuff that's in, like...
Oh, my God.
But I get it, because, like, they're older characters, so they're kind of feeding into the same tropes.
I will say, let me just talk real quick about the whole romantic thing.
Yeah.
Ever since Mako has... Or after...
We all know it gets gay. We all know it gets gay.
When it gets gay, and then... I guess also... Spoiler, but not really.
Really. Everybody knows that.
When Mako and Korra break up, like, Mako should not be allowed to date anyone. I've said this. He's fucking horrible in relationships. He should not be allowed to date anyone. Mm-hmm. But once he gets out of that, he's
much more tolerable. I like him.
Yeah, I think he's really funny as a character when you realize he's just like this awkward, like, little, like, I kind of fucked up with these two girls, and now they're dating each other, and I guess that's cool. Like, I like him so much more as a character when he's not dating anyone.
He's way more tolerable, but you get to like the characters more later on, and it's for anybody who read Percy Jackson. When you got to the Hero of Olympus continuation, it was hard to get into it because you're comparing it to the old series, and you want the old magic of the old series, and that's kind of how Korra is.
Yeah. But I mean, same thing with, like, the Heroes of Olympus, like, when, like, it just kind of, it reaches a certain point where it finds its footing and is able to, like, create its own thing.
Exactly. And then you love that, and you love the new characters, you love how it goes. And that's kind of how Korra is.
It takes a second, because you feel so protective towards the old characters. Yeah. And you're like, well, blah, 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 this so-and-so character wouldn't do this, or if this is now, this character would do this.
Yeah, and you want to know what happened to everybody, but they really feed you that throughout the season. Yeah. They do it very well. They do it in the sense of, like, they don't give you too much because they want you wanting more. Yeah. And I can respect that because
they want you wanting more, and also I think it kind of establishes this is not about them.
Exactly.
This is a new group. This is a new characters, new stories. Like, yes, it's fun to be nostalgic and think about, oh well, I wonder what happened after like the initial series, and I wonder how Aang and Kintara, how that kind of ended up, and how Zuko and blah 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 and all this stuff. And it's fun to think about that. And I'm sure there's 1,000 Tumblr posts on on like what happened with that. But when it comes to Legend of Korra, I think they establish it pretty quickly that this is not that. This is its own.
There's a new avatar.
Yeah, like you're saying, they feed you little bits. They're like, well, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I think that Tenzin's whole thing was like, they're like, oh, you're missing Aang. Here's an entire,
Here's Aang.
Here's Aang as an adult.
Yeah, literally his prodigy in a way, I guess. His
but even with
legacy.
But even with that, they take it and they turn into its whole thing where, I mean, there's a whole fucking episode about, or maybe not an entire episode, but like there was a good portion about Tenzin, who I think when he was in the spirit world or something, he actually saw Aang and they talked, and Aang was like, you are not me. It's, stop comparing yourself to me. You are yourself. Yeah. And so they have a whole thing with that even, where if you look at Tenzin and you think, you're like, oh, that's just Aang Jr. I mean, they explain it's not.
He is himself.
Yeah, he is, each character is its own thing. And not, like, there's no, also I really like, there's no, like, really equivalent of, like, oh, well, Korra is the Aang of this season.
And she compares herself to him a lot.
Yeah. But, like, there's no,
like, to live up to.
There's no, like, correlations where you're like, well, who's the Katara of the group and who's the Sokka of the group. Yeah. And they definitely try and make, at least I think with Bolin, they try to make him the Sokka of the group. Yeah. But again, when the show,
he becomes his own little
I know.
I want to pinch his cheeks.
I'm like, oh, fucking, I think Bolin's one of my favorite characters. Cute. But they, like, when the show really finds its footing, there's no equivalent, or there's no, like, this is this of this season. Yeah. And I really respect that, and I really like it. Because if it was just the same thing, then that's the same show. Like, if it's the same characters, then, okay, like, we've already seen that, sure, yeah, it's fun, but then it just leaves you, it leaves you thinking of, this is so-and-so 2.0, this is whatever, it's the same storylines. Yeah. But
which they don't. They really do have their own. Yeah. And so that's the other thing that I love about Legends of Korra is legends, not plural, but it's like it is a lot more adult themed. I mean, they're definitely gearing towards like their older. It's kind of like what Pixar does. They're like, oh hey, you liked Monsters Inc. when you were young, and now here's something for our older audience. And they did that with Toy Story. And that's kind of how Legend of Korra is. And I think that's why they go into these darker and deeper like thoughts and storylines and stuff like that. I mean, but yeah, like, Korra is an amazing character. She's so complex. Like, she's awesome.
What I really love that they did with her character, and I think good writers can do this with anyone, is go through this, like, the character development without the audience even realizing that.
And then you get to that last season,
and you're like, oh my god, this is and I mean, granted, between the 3rd and 4th season, like, I mean, you can tell that Korra went through some major shit, and like, and that obviously changed her as a character, but even compared to who she was before that shit at the end of season 3, and if you've watched it, you know what
we're talking about.
Yeah, even before, like, the shit that happened, who she was at the beginning of season 3 was not the same who she was at the beginning of season 1. Yeah. And you can't exactly pinpoint the exact moments.
The transition.
When her character transitions from being this hotshot, up and coming avatar to the avatar.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. And I love that. And I think, so the other things I love about this series is, like, there's that. And I think I like how the 4th season is, like, just when she solves a problem. Yeah. it's like it creates a new problem. She has to deal with that, and she goes through way more traumatic shit than Aang ever went through. Like, it's crazy the shit she goes through.
Aang had a lot more pressure on him, I would say. Like the pressure to, like, save the world.
Yeah, after 100 years.
After 100 years of being a 12-year-old kid. So, like, he had definitely a lot more pressure on him and a lot more, like, time constraint. I think that's also, like, a time constraint of having, like, a set date of, like, hey, you gotta get your shit together by this date or the world is gonna end. Yeah. Versus Legend of Korra, it's, like, she kind of... I mean, she has a little bit of that pressure, but it's more of, like, her figuring out things as she goes, and then also going through, like, traumatic shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like the 4th season the best, is because I like when stories don't, like, I mean, the shit that a hero goes through. Yeah. I like when...
a hero's journey.
A hero's journey. And I like when stories acknowledge that nobody can just go through that and not be, like...
changed.
It's hard from it. And that's why I like the 4th season is they deal with her PTSD. They never say it's PTSD, but it's, like...
They absolutely deal with it. And it's not just from the blatantly traumatic events either. Yes. Like, they go back all the way to the 1st season. And I mean, the whole episode of her and Toph, like... when she like, had to do that. I don't want to spoil, like, too much, but, like...
Look forward to that.
Yeah, look forward to that. So I guess a little spoiler warning, like, from here. But, like, when, like, she kind of meets up with Toph, and Toph is like, hey, dude, you're fucked up. You're fucked up and you're traumatized. Yeah. Like, and you gotta deal with it. Yeah. And she's like, well, like, I guess this one thing that happened is traumatizing, but I don't see what everything else has to do with it. Yeah. And then, like, as you're watching it, you're like, oh, or, like, as she's kind of going through it, like, all the way back to the shit that happened in season 1, she's like, oh, shit, yeah, no, I'm still processing that.
Exactly. And, like, and I like how it's like she doesn't have to be dependent on anybody. Like, this is her own journey. She has to figure this out herself. Mm-hmm. I mean, I liked that a lot. I think it's very empowering. I think it's super cool. I think it's relatable to everybody. I mean, I like, again, like, you're not watching it feeling like a dude wrote it. You know, like, this is a real experience. Yeah. This is universal. This is everybody.
These are real characters. Like, yeah. I mean, like, if you take away, like, the bending and stuff, and you just look at the personalities of the characters. Yeah. Dude, it's
crazy. Yeah. Like, it's crazy, like, I'm such an avid believer, like, if you like things that are geared towards, like, YA, and you love that, like, that is all you okay. love it. Like, I will always support that. Yeah. I love reading YA books more than, like, fucking shit that's...
Because you know what, sometimes I just need a book that's just gonna, like, give me, like, the YA that I want.
Feeling.
Like, not everything needs to be so adult. Like,
oh my God, yeah.
It's okay to still, like, want to read, like, YA fucking fantasy novels. Dude, that shit is... that's my shit.
But even that stuff has those, like... grown-up... adult themes like Korra does, like, and it's crazy, and I feel like it's so underrated because sometimes you slap that YA, like, title onto it, and then people don't respect it for what it is, and it should be respected more.
No, for sure.
It's crazy, and the other thing I love about that series too is, like, Avatar doesn't have time to explore the fact that like the Avatar is both the connection between our world and the spiritual world. But Korra is like, okay, we don't have time for that in the first series.
We're going to talk about that now.
We're going to talk about, like, the role of the Avatar. Yeah. And I think that's really cool. It adds a different perspective. The animation is just absolutely beautiful.
Oh, my God. Just I can go on about the animation and the fucking, like, soundtrack and the themes that go with it.
God, that composer deserves an award.
It needs to go the fuck off. And, like, I mean, back to, like, the fucking first season with Zuko and, like, Zuko's theme. Oh my God, when you hear Zuko's theme, you know shit's about to go down. Like, you don't see him yet, but his music will start. Yes,
you know, exactly. Wear the mask.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Sound, but like you hear that music and you know you're like, oh shit, where is he? Like,
what's about to happen?
Right, what's about to happen? But oh my God, I'm a sucker for a good, like, musical score. Like, and a good score, and then a good, like. And being able to tell the story through that music by itself. And, like...
Well, I feel like that kind of makes it. Like, I feel like a big part of a film is the soundtrack.
Yeah. Well, and, like, I even compared, like, listening to the music from the initial series from Avatar to the music from Legend of Korra, and how Avatar is a lot more of that, like, the classical, ancient sounding... Like, I'm sure there's a correct name for it. I don't know. But, like, that kind of, like... classical music versus Legend of Korra is that more like upbeat, fast, almost like jazz sounding, like industrial type thing. Even when they talk about like the previously on,
and it's like previously on Avatar or Legends of Korra.
Yeah,
he has that voice.
Yeah, and it has like that kind of like old timey like whatever to it. I just love attention to detail like that.
Yeah, but I like that combination of like, okay, and I mean, shit, they really, especially in that 3rd and 4th season, they're making political comments.
Oh,
whether or not you pick up on that, they are.
Yeah.
And big time, and I like how they're like, okay, how does the old world fit in this new world, and how can we have this balance in our world? And I that's a comment right there, for sure. It's something.
Yeah.
But I like that. And also, I feel like it was the natural next step because the Fire Nation was already in the first series having this crazy advanced technology, or even those people were hanging out at the air temple.
Yeah.
You know? So it makes sense.
It was something that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess, and that's anything with, like, even in, like, real world history, like, you look at certain key points in history, and you're like, something is gonna happen. Like,
for sure.
I mean, like, you look at certain time periods and you're like, yeah, like this is, it makes sense that everything was gearing up towards this next thing.
Yeah.
And that's how it feels like with Avatar and then Legend of Korra. You see the very basic principles of, like, you know, metal bending. Like, that is such a huge role.
Yeah.
And, like, metal bending in itself, and then the idea that there isn't just one type of bending, you know, that you can, fucking, like, water bending in Legend of Korra.
Oh my god, I was like, we're missing the point.
Like, the fucking water bending, like, I mean, I'll let you go on this spiel about that, because that's, you got it.
Clearly, the showrunners have personal feelings for water bending. They clearly like it. Well, okay, let's talk about, in this, even the intro, like, the fact that it doesn't start with water, it's like, earth, fire, blah, blah, blah. Well, they're starting with, like, who's next in the cycle, so I don't know if y'all picked up on that.
Yeah.
So that's why it doesn't start with water, because Korra was next. But, like, Katara in the first season, when you watch Korra and all the other waterbenders in the second series, you know Katara was being held back.
Yeah.
Like, Katara was being held back. She is not a weak character.
Because they were going on all these, like, fucking, they're like, okay, well, Aang basically mastered waterbending in the first season. Like that. And so they're like, okay, we fly through the air, no water. We go into the Earth Kingdom, no water. Fire Nation, no water.
No water.
So Katara's like, well, fuck me.
I gotta use what I got. You know?
So she really wasn't given the opportunity to shine.
Show off how cool she was.
No, she would have. And seeing how that transferred into, like, the, like, Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
And how, like, I mean, even things like, you know, blood bending and metal bending. And then even how, like, the different things that you can do with the water. And even how, like, lightning bending is, like,
it's so normalized.
It's like such a normalized thing. It really explores the idea of, like, yes, these are the 4 basic elements, but within that, it makes up the entire world.
Yeah, or sandbending, the sunbenders.
Yeah, the sunbenders, like, all that shit. Like, the first season, or the first series, it sets it up for this entire world to be created.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I just think, in that second series in Korra, you just see how fucking cool, like, waterbenders are. I also like how they're like, every nation's fucked up. It's not just the Fire Nation. Everybody's
Earth
fucked
Nation
up all around.
Cannot get their shit together. Like, never have,
never
will.
Bossing is always on some bullshit.
They're like, Bossing say.
They make so many comments too on just, like, fucking wealth. And
dude, fucking class war.
Oh my god.
I mean, maybe Bossing Say should have a class war. Like,
I mean, they
basically did.
They
like,
do.
They're still trying on that, we'll see if they make another series, what they do with that.
I would be an Earthbender next, too.
Shit, maybe that cool. Earthbender would get that shit under control. I always felt partial towards Earthbending. I don't know why, I just fucking loved it. And, like, I love the idea that, like, when you think about Earth, like, it's in fucking everything. Like, obviously, like, you know, with metal bending, like, you gotta dig a little to find that Earth, but, like, shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Well, shit.
Well, shit. No, I just think that's so, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy how underrated it is, and we also only have each other to talk to.
I know. We have the amount of conversations we've had about this, and a lot of it is kind of repetitive.
Good.
Like, we're basically saying the same thing that we've been saying.
Stuff we've already said on our own.
But, like, it's so good, and it's just so, like, the things that they talk about, and even, I guess, like, back to, like, to the first series with Avatar, a lot of the episodes had, like, its own, like, little individual plot lines, which, I mean,
everybody has a moment to shine.
Yeah, everyone has a moment to shine, and obviously it all ultimately leads up to that final battle, which, oh my god, that final battle scene, oh my god, that was something in itself. But each episode kind of holds its own, like, little message and its story, and it introduces, like, new characters, like, for a little second.
Yeah.
And Legend of Korra is a little more, like, plot-based, and, you have a consecutive storyline, and Avatar is more, like, you're traveling to different places really quick, and
you get introduced to it.
You get introduced to a lot of different parts of the world, but it gives so many different examples, and you see so many different types of characters, and it sets a world up. And I love shows that introduce an entire world.
Yeah, and movies and shows that they don't even have, like, they're not adapted from something. Yeah. That's just, like, straight up from somebody's mind, and they made it like that. Like, having that visual component always blows my mind. But I think the last point that I want to make about Korra is, again, we all know it gets gay. Yeah. It's a kid's show, so as much as you want more of that build-up that, like...
They're just not there.
Oh, my gosh. Fucking, this shit froze!
It's gonna be, like, an hour and a half.
I know, right?
That's okay.
Okay, we had to restart it because it froze, and my computer's just...
Talk about, like, low quality. That's I know,
okay. You can see her flickering light and shit.
Oh, God.
Anyways, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
But what I love about Korra, too, is, again, like, I think when I was reading the Vanity Fair article, I really recommend reading the Guardian, the Vanity Fair articles that came out right after the finale for the show did. Yeah. Because they're really well written. They put way more... I'm basing most of what I'm saying off of that with the, like, kind of, like, gay relationship and all that. I mean, like, the Vanity Fair article talked about how, like, the creators, you could accuse them of, like, pandering to the audience, but I think there's nothing wrong with that, honestly. Yeah. If your audience is noticing things about your characters that you weren't able to or you didn't even notice, but, like, the creators said, I like their statement that they said, like, they both went on their own blogs after it came out, and they were like, hey, that last scene, it is gay. Yeah. It's gay. You can't doubt it. It's gay, and we wanted it to be. And how they talked about how, like, in Hollywood, there is this unspoken rule that you shouldn't show LGBT relationships.
Yeah, it can only be implied.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, well, this rule isn't even written. Like, why are we abiding by something that isn't even true? Yeah. And so again, they were already online. Nickelodeon was already like, yo, you guys are already going too deep. And they're like, fuck it. So last episode, you all knew it was there. We see it too. Yeah. Like, and they did it. And I think it's great because that's what the audience wanted. And it's true. You can see it. Even,
oh my god.
Even though they can't directly tell you the build-up because it's just still so taboo to have.
They can't give you that slow burn that, oh my god.
That we want. Yeah. But because, again, it's just so taboo. But, like, and it shouldn't be, but it's fucking is for whatever reason. Even though it's, like, that's the reality of it. It's, like, people have queer relationships and people have queer parents and it needs to be represented. Yeah. But it's not because people have still so close-minded
It's thoughts. Only such it's in kid shows. It really only is a taboo because they make it one. Like kids don't fucking know,
and they don't see otherwise. They don't. There's nothing wrong to them. Yeah, unless you tell them it's wrong.
Yeah, unless you tell them it's wrong, or you don't if you don't fucking represent people, then that's why kids grow up not happy with themselves and not being able to see themselves represented in media and TV shows is because fucking like Hollywood and like show writers they refuse to do it because they don't think it's like, or they think it's like taboo and it does not end well, and if you just fucking normalized it, then it wouldn't even be a big deal.
Exactly. So that's why I really respect them for doing that, because they were like, you know what, yes, it made sense. And if you watch it, like, when I was watching it again with you, or, well, on my own. But, like, when you know, it just, in the 4th season, again, they can't directly say it, but you're like, it makes the most sense. Like, I mean, again, I'm assuming you already know it's fucking want to keep saying Katara, it's the case. Yeah. Korra and Asami, you know it's them, but when you
also, they just made Asami too pretty to not be gay.
I mean, come on, femme rights.
Truly, they're like, okay, Korra, Mako, Bolin, okay, make Asami. Like, no, literally, they're like, very like basic, like, animation, whatever, and then they're like, okay, we need a whole team on Asami.
No, literally, but like, it's their relationship is so organic, way more than Asami's relationship with Mako, more than Katara.
And I love there's never, well, I guess a little, like, very briefly in the first season, but, like, there's never that, like, jealousy, like, that whatever, because, I mean, they very could have easily made it that way between, like, had, like, the love triangle, and they tried to do that, but then they're like, nah.
It just didn't work.
Yeah.
And it didn't work because it was supposed to be Korra and Asami.
Yeah. And then also, it didn't work because there's the whole idea of, like, saving the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, even with Avatar, with Aang and Katara, they had that whole conversation where Aang was like, so, like, I like you, and then Katara's like, dude, we're, like, trying to save the world right now, like, I don't have time. So it's, like, it's always kind of been a theme, like, throughout both shows, that, like, saving the world kind of comes first.
And I like that maturity.
And Korra does a whole lot of saving the world.
Yeah,
so, like, she really doesn't have that much time to, like, I guess, really evaluate, like, maybe I am gay. Like...
Yeah, and I think... Well, okay, again, like, I like that maturity of the show. Is like, okay... Despite, especially Korra, we all tried to date each other. It didn't work.
But they're all tried to date each other, and it did not work.
But they're all mature about it, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great lesson anybody can take from it. But I like, too, is I think Korra feels like she needs to be with Mako, and I feel like she gets jealous, and she wants to be with him, but it's misguided, because in the end, she really wanted to be with Asami. Yeah. And when she was with Mako, it didn't work.
Dude, because they fucking fought about everything. If you go back and you just watch, like, and just observe their relationship, she will blow up at him for no reason.
Like, you're siding with Mako. You're like, damn, Mako, like, I'm so sorry.
Within their relationship, you're like, damn, like, poor Mako. Like, she just goes in on him. Yeah. And it's because she doesn't fucking like him like that. Like,
she just wants to be his friend. But I like that everybody can be mature about it. And Asami and Korra, it just makes the most sense. Yeah. And I love that they did that. And I love that they talk about in their own personal statements. One of the showrunners, again, his last name starts with a K, but I can't remember it. He basically was just like, this made the most sense. I'm sorry we didn't do this sooner. This is what's right. Yeah. And I love that. And I love that they think like that. And it makes me super hopeful for the fact that motherfucking Netflix. If you guys didn't know this, because it was so low key.
Yeah, there was no hype around it at all. But Netflix is adapting Avatar into its own live action series. Yes, and they've released one kind of like concept art piece. About what it looks, and it looks fucking beautiful.
I feel like I hope it's like Life of Pi, like type of animation, just like
because
beautiful CGI.
it really can be that. Like, even like with the animation. I mean, specifically, back in Avatar in the first series, that fucking it's absolutely beautiful. I love good animation. Yeah. Oh my god, like it's absolutely beautiful. And then even in that the very last episode of the final battle between Aang and the Fire Lord. No, that's the grand.
No, it's like Suzu. It starts with a Z.
Yeah, him. Between that Fire Lord. Yeah, the Fire Lord. Between that, like, final battle between the two of them, oh my god. Crazy. Like, that, I mean, also, okay, let me just go into my final spiel real quick about how I love how they constantly compare Zuko and Aang. Yes. The whole series. Yes. Like, anytime either one of them is kind of going through, like, a character development type episode, they're always mirrored with each other. They're, like, even if their characters are really not the same, like when you look at their backstory and how they grew up, they're really not the same, but they always show them like parallel to each other, of having to either go through like a really extreme training episode, or like with the fucking final battle, Zuko is fighting Azula while Aang is fighting the Fire Lord, and both of those battles were so beautifully done. Like they were so well done, and like the animation was so beautiful, and I just can't wait to see what Netflix has to do with that.
Exactly.
Because Netflix will
fuck some shit up.
They will fuck some shit up. I don't care if, like, I mean, some of their shit, like, maybe, like, the acting's whatever. Or, no, honestly, their acting is always good. Like, it's really the storylines were, like, but storyline's already written for Avatar. Like, you already have that. Netflix always finds good new actors who you don't really know.
That's true.
And they have the fucking budget to do it.
Yes.
And you never see Netflix lacking with poor budget or poor,
that's true.
Like, in all the shows, like, I mean, there can be plenty
Unless they want it to be more sitcom-y.
Which which from the concept art, I'm not getting that at all.
No.
But... what was I gonna say? But with, like, the whole, like, animation and, like, how it's done, Netflix is never slacking on that. Like, Netflix will all, like I said, they'll have plenty of other reasons, like, fucking 13 Reasons Why, and shit shows like that. There's
fucking insatiable.
Oh, and there's plenty of other reasons why shows like that fail, but it's not the budget. The budget is there.
Yes.
I mean, shit, like I said, the plot and the storyline, but that's already made for Avatar.
Yeah. Well, so with the live action, they already have the original showrunners on it, and they were like, we're not going to whitewash it. Like, we know why the live action failed.
Oh my god.
Which, that's a whole thing we could talk about.
I think I've blocked that out of my memory.
M. Night Shyamalan, and, like, why...
Which
I don't get why he doesn't have representation.
It
doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes the representation is him in the film.
Literally.
So, I don't get it. That's another time, another place.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
But... yeah, I mean, they were like, no, we're going to have the representation.
Yeah.
This is not going to be whitewashed. We hear you, we see you, we know.
Yeah.
And
I'm so excited for seeing the actual representation.
Yes.
Because I've talked about this. They hint at it, or I mean, not even hint at it. They fucking show.
Clear.
It's so clear that obviously these are not white. Like, these are not white characters.
They're not.
But even more so than that, like, at least to me, like, it's very clear that, like, waterbenders are native. Like, those are fucking Native American characters. No, I guess in this world it's not American.
Yeah,
but, like, those are fucking Native characters.
But clearly there's, like, ties to
them. Fucking firebenders, when they go back to the whole, like, sun bending and the sun gods and stuff, that's fucking Aztec. Like, that's the entire Aztec culture right there. Like, worshipping the sun god, of course. Like, and you can look across all the characters and you're like, they have, it's not white. It is not white.
It's a show that is heavily influenced by Eastern cultures.
Yes.
So the fact that, like, originally white actors were casted, I mean, white actors, even for fucking Katara, you casted a white-ass bitch for Katara? That's like fucking putting a Kardashian in.
Like, what?
It doesn't make sense.
It does not make any sense, especially when, she is a brown, like, they are brown.
Clear. It's clear.
They are
like,
brown.
I don't, how did you miss the mark? So that's what I'm excited about. And they have the original composer for the live action show too, so we're going to get the sound.
God, that fucking soundtrack, the visuals. I am so excited for that.
All we need, I mean, I don't care if it's like exactly like each episode verbatim, just like, but it's live action and just. But like,
I think overall I don't think they'll go so much into like the small like mini plots that Avatar did.
Yeah.
I think they will focus a lot more on like the overall arching. But I would love to see if because I know they go a lot more into history wise as far as the Avatar and Legends of Korra.
True. Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if they do that in Avatar. Because I mean they fucking go, like in Legends of Korra they go into like the first Avatar and that whole thing and you didn't really know about
the history and how the Avatar even came to be and like how they really are like the balance
and
of, like order.
And why they're the balance of that. Like you don't learn about like they kind of fucked up initially and like now it's like, you know, thousands of years later they're the Avatar because they're trying to make up for that mistake that they made.
And it makes you think, even with Korra, like going back to the first season, why like Aang and Zuko are always so like compared to each other in episodes, because they explain why in Korra. Yeah. Because to summarize, because we have we went deep and then we went like fucking into Korra. But I will say about Korra is, well, okay, so with the live action, it was supposed to come out in fall of this year. Probably won't. I can't wait. I hope it's still happening. I think it's going to be amazing. I think they're going to get a little darker with it.
I would love to see that.
I hope so, but who knows? It is Netflix. You have no idea what they're going to do. If it's even still going to be geared towards kids. But I think they're really going to they're going to dive into just why the show is, and the characters
I would love to
are
see
so
them
dynamic.
do it a lot darker, but also kind of like dark comics. These kids are fucking traumatized. They could do some traumatizing shit. And kind of, I mean, not to compare it to like Percy Jackson, but like,
oh my god, don't get another podcast.
Another episode. But like Percy Jackson, like he's a fucking traumatized kid who makes jokes that aren't funny to the outside person, to other kids who are also traumatized. They're like, oh, haha, yeah. Like
it's like divorced parents.
No, literally. But like, I would love to see some of that like dark humor in in Avatar where they're making these jokes, and as an outside, like, viewer, you're like, now wait a second, like, this shouldn't be like that.
It's just like when Sokka was like, well, my girlfriend became the moon.
Yeah, that's rough. But, like, to them, sure, that's how they cope. Yeah. But then to us, obviously, that's funny as shit.
Yeah, but then you're like,
oh shit, like,
somebody needed
clearly Sokka is still going through that.
Yeah. But I just, there's so much that could be said about why we know why Avatar is good, but I feel like there's so much more that you could say about why Korra is so good, and I feel like it wasn't given a chance that should have been, because one, it was really dark and it was already kind of sold as a kid's show. Yeah. Two, you have a POC girl as your main character, and I think it's just sexism and racism that really kind of hurt it. And she's also queer, so that kind of...
And she's essentially disabled by the end of the series.
Yeah, which that is... But I'm hoping that if The Last Airbender, the live action, does really well on Netflix, I'm hoping they'll be like, let's do Korra.
Oh, and I would love that.
I think it being live action and then also being the property of Netflix, I think it could do everything that the original series wasn't able to do because it was on Nickelodeon.
If they do this good and they do it right, oh my god, it will be beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, beautiful.
Exactly. And okay, to get a little film theory into it, sometimes I know, like, fidelity, it can break your film because people have an idea of what it looks like, but sometimes when people hold something so close to their heart, there's nothing wrong with fidelity. Yeah. There's nothing wrong. Don't put your own fucking spin on it. Just do what people want. Yeah. And that's how it will be good and successful. Yeah. But that's... We could write a fucking
I'm sure
paper.
I'm sure we will go off on this more in the future as just... For no reason other than our own wantings to talk about it. Yeah. But yeah, I think we've gone long enough.
It's probably been 2 hours that we've talked about.
Probably.
So sorry, everybody.
I wonder if I should split this up into like 2 episodes.
Maybe we should, like a part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll figure out.
That's our own deal. Anyways. Thanks for watching. Until next Wednesday. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram.
Again, we'll link it all below.
Link it below. If you're just listening. Yeah. Instagram @cult.francis. Twitter @cultfrancis.
Instagram is stevie.kicks with 2 S's. And then Twitter is stevie.kick. So, there we go.
See you next Wednesday.
Oh.
Goodbye.
Yeah.